Welcome to another episode of Balkan Living Made Easy, the podcast where we decode the dream of relocating and investing in beautiful Bulgaria. Today, we're diving into a must-know topic for anyone thinking of moving to Bulgaria: residence permits and visas for European and non-European citizens. Whether you're eyeing a scenic village home in Popovo or planning to launch a business in Targovishte, understanding the Bulgarian visa and residency system is step one. EU or not, this episode breaks down your options, your obligations, and how you can confidently make Bulgaria your new home, with some help from the experts at Nyama Problemi Ltd and their virtual office at BG House. So grab your coffee or your plane ticket, and let's get started.
Residency visas in Bulgaria, EU versus non-EU. Moving to Bulgaria can be exciting, but navigating visas and residence permits might seem complex. This comprehensive guide breaks down everything about Bulgarian residence permits and visas for both European Union, EU, EEA, citizens and non-European citizens. We'll cover all major visa types, from the long-stay D visa to work, student, investor, property-based, and family reunification visas. You'll also learn the differences in process and rights for EU versus non-EU applicants, step-by-step application guidance, required documents, timelines, and how to transition from temporary residency to permanent residency and even citizenship. By the end, you'll know exactly what to expect and how to proceed, with tips on how Nyama Problemi Ltd, the team behind BG House, can assist you at every step. EU, EEA citizens, easy residency in Bulgaria. If you are a citizen of the EU, EEA, or Switzerland, good news, you don't need a visa to live in Bulgaria. Thanks to EU freedom of movement, Europeans have the right to reside, work, and study in Bulgaria with minimal paperwork. Here's how it works for EU, EEA nationals. Enter with ID or passport. EU citizens can enter Bulgaria using just a valid passport or national ID card. No entry visa is required. You can stay up to 90 days freely, just like a tourist. Registration after 90 days. If you plan to live in Bulgaria longer than 3 months, you must register your residence. This is done at the local migration office, often in the police department, in the Bulgarian city where you live. You'll need to show a valid ID, proof of address in Bulgaria, e.g., rental contract or property deed, and proof of the reason for staying. The reason could be employment, a work contract or proof of self-employment, studying, university enrollment, or having sufficient funds to support yourself, and health insurance. Residence certificate. Upon registration, you receive a certificate of long-term residence, sometimes a plastic EU residence card or a paper certificate. This document confirms your right to live in Bulgaria as an EU national. It's often issued for 5 years, or less depending on your situation, and it's easily renewable. During this period, you have the right to work or do business in Bulgaria without needing any work permit, the same rights as Bulgarian citizens for employment. Family members. If your family members are also EU, EEA citizens, they follow the same process. If they are non-EU, they can join you under EU family reunification rules, more on that later. Rights of EU citizens in Bulgaria. As an EU national residing in Bulgaria, you enjoy almost equal rights to Bulgarian citizens in terms of work, starting a business, and accessing healthcare or education. You won't need any special visa to start a job. After 5 years of continuous residence in Bulgaria, an EU citizen can even apply for a permanent residence certificate, confirming your right to stay permanently. This is usually a formality if you've met the basic conditions, resided legally for 5 years. Permanent residency for EU nationals solidifies your status but isn't mandatory. Many just keep renewing their 5-year certificate. Additionally, EU citizens who have lived in Bulgaria long-term can, if they wish, explore applying for Bulgarian citizenship, though most retain their original citizenship since EU rights are already in place. In short, the process for EU citizens is straightforward: arrive, register, and enjoy life in Bulgaria with full freedom to work and live. Non-EU citizens, long-stay visas, Type D, and residence permits. For non-European, non-EU, EEA citizens, the journey to Bulgarian residency involves more steps. Non-EU nationals cannot simply move to Bulgaria without prior permission. They will typically need a long-stay visa, also known as a Type D visa, to enter Bulgaria for the purpose of a long-term stay. This visa then leads to a residence permit, Bulgarian ID card, once in the country. Below, we break down the major categories of long-stay visas and what each entails. What is a Type D visa? It's a long-term visa required for anyone outside the EU who wants to stay in Bulgaria for more than 90 days. The D visa is usually valid for 6 months, or up to 12 months in some cases, and allows you to enter Bulgaria and apply for a residence permit. Think of it as the first step: you obtain the D visa in your home country, then travel to Bulgaria to finalize your residency. Without a D visa, a non-EU citizen cannot get a Bulgarian long-term residence permit. You can't arrive as a tourist and simply switch to resident status. Residence permit, Bulgarian ID card. After arriving with the D visa, you must register at the migration office in Bulgaria to get your extended residence permit. This is an ID card that formally allows you to reside in Bulgaria, initially for up to 1 year. The type of permit corresponds to your visa's purpose, work, study, etc., and is renewable annually as long as you meet the conditions. After 5 years of continually renewing annual permits, you become eligible for permanent residence. The process for non-EU citizens generally looks like this: secure the appropriate D visa from a Bulgarian embassy, consulate abroad, travel to Bulgaria, apply for the residence permit card, renew it each year, and eventually qualify for permanent residency. The exact requirements and ease of approval will depend on the grounds of your visa. G. Work, study, family, investment, which we'll discuss next. Work visa, employment in Bulgaria. A popular route for non-EU nationals is to work for a Bulgarian company. To legally work and live in Bulgaria, you will need a work visa. In practice, this means a Type D visa for employment, backed by a work permit. Here's what's involved. Job offer and work permit. First, you must have a Bulgarian employer willing to hire you. That employer needs to obtain a work permit for you through the Bulgarian authorities, specifically the Ministry of Labour. They have to prove that the job position cannot be filled by a Bulgarian or EU citizen. This is a labour market test. Highly skilled professionals might be eligible for an EU Blue Card, an EU-wide work permit for high-qualified jobs, which also leads to a residence permit. Apply for Visa D. Once the work permit is approved, you apply for a Type D visa at the Bulgarian embassy, consulate in your country. You'll include your work permit approval, employment contract, and other documents, passport, application form, medical insurance, etc. The Visa D for work is usually granted for 6 months validity to let you enter and start working. Arrive and get residence card. After entering Bulgaria with the D visa, you'll go to the migration office to apply for your 1-year residence permit, employment-based. You'll show your passport with the visa, local address, and the work permit documentation. They will issue you a Bulgarian residence card, typically within a couple of weeks. This card allows you to live in Bulgaria for 1 year and is tied to your job. Renewal. You can renew your work residence permit each year as long as you continue working for that employer and the work permit is renewed. It's important to start the renewal process before your current permit expires. Usually, you apply at least a month in advance. If you change jobs, you may need a new work permit for the new employer. Rights and considerations. With a work residence permit, you can live in Bulgaria and work legally for the sponsoring employer. After 5 years of continuous employment and residence, you could apply for permanent residency, allowing you to work without special permits. Note that during those first 5 years, your right to stay is linked to your employment. If you lose the job and cannot find another sponsor, your permit might not be renewable. However, Bulgaria's job market in certain sectors, IT, engineering, etc., is growing, and skilled non-EU workers are in demand. Learning some Bulgarian can improve your job opportunities, though many companies in Sofia and other cities operate in English as well. Student visa, studying in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is home to several reputable universities, for example, in Sofia, Plovdiv, Varna, etc., and many offer programs in English or other languages, attracting international students. If you are a non-EU citizen accepted into a Bulgarian educational institution, you will need a student visa, type D visa for study. Here's the process. University acceptance. Secure admission to a recognized Bulgarian university or higher education program. You'll usually need an official acceptance letter or certificate of enrollment. Apply for Visa D, student. With your acceptance documents in hand, apply for the long-stay D visa at the Bulgarian embassy, consulate in your country. You'll need to provide your university acceptance letter, proof of payment of tuition, or scholarship documents, if any, proof of sufficient funds to support yourself during studies, a valid passport, recent photos, health insurance covering your stay, and possibly a police clearance certificate. Student visas often are issued for up to 12 months at a time, since study is a longer-term purpose. Arrival and residence permit. Once you have the visa, travel to Bulgaria and register at the migration office for your 1-year student residence permit, an ID card. You'll show your passport with visa, address in Bulgaria, student dormitory letter or rental contract, and confirmation from the university that you are enrolled. The residence card you receive will usually be valid for up to 1 year. Renewal each year. If your study program is longer than a year, e.g., a 3 to 4 year bachelor's or 2-year master's, you must renew your student residence permit annually. For renewal, you'll again provide proof that you are still enrolled and in good academic standing, plus updated insurance and proof of finances for the next year. This means each year the university must provide a letter confirming your continued enrollment for the next academic year or semester. Working and other rights. A student residence permit in Bulgaria allows you to reside for study purposes. It does not automatically grant the right to work full-time, but students can often work part-time under certain conditions. You may need to check if a separate work permit is required for non-EU students working part-time. Rules can change, but generally EU encourages allowing students to work some hours. Always verify current regulations if you plan to get a job or internship during studies. After completing your education in Bulgaria, you might be able to switch to a work residence permit if you find a job. Many international students stay on to work, taking advantage of their familiarity with the language and local contacts. The student years on a temporary permit also count toward the 5 years needed for permanent residency, but usually at least half of the study period might count. Some countries count student years partially, It's worth checking Bulgarian specifics if aiming for long-term stay. Regardless, Bulgaria offers a friendly environment for students with relatively low tuition and living costs, making it an attractive place to study abroad. Family reunification, joining a spouse or family member. Family comes first, and Bulgaria allows non-EU citizens to join their family who are already in Bulgaria. Family reunification. Visas cover situations like marrying a Bulgarian citizen or joining a parent, spouse who has legal residency. The process and ease can vary depending on who you are joining. Spouse of a Bulgarian citizen. If you are married to a Bulgarian citizen, you are eligible for a Type D visa on the basis of marriage. The application will require your marriage certificate, officially recognized and translated into Bulgarian, and typically proof that your Bulgarian spouse can support you or that you have means of support. The D visa is applied for in your home country, but the visa fee is often waived for spouses of Bulgarian, EU citizens, as a courtesy. Once you arrive in Bulgaria, you'll apply for a one-year residence permit as the spouse of a Bulgarian. The good news is that this status often gives you the right to work in Bulgaria without needing a separate work permit, since you're a family member of a citizen. After a few years of marriage and residence, usually 5 years of residence, but sometimes a shorter period like 3 years of marriage if married to a Bulgarian, subject to certain conditions, you can apply for permanent residency or even citizenship by marriage. Bulgaria generally allows dual citizenship, so you wouldn't necessarily have to renounce your original citizenship if you naturalize later. Family of EU citizen residing in Bulgaria. If your spouse or parent is an EU/EEA citizen living in Bulgaria, but not Bulgarian, you fall under EU family member rules. You would still need a visa to enter if you're from a country that requires visas, but the process is simplified and often free. After arriving, you get a residence card as an EU-dependent family member. This card is typically issued with a 5-year validity, since EU law treats you similarly to the EU citizens' rights. This scenario might apply, for example, if you are married to a German who moves to Bulgaria, you can join him fairly easily. Joining a non-EU resident in Bulgaria. If your family member in Bulgaria is a non-EU citizen who already has a long-term or permanent residence, you can apply for family reunification as well. For instance, children joining parents or a spouse joining a person who holds a Bulgarian residence permit. In this case, the sponsor in Bulgaria must show they have sufficient housing and income to support you. The Type D visa is applied abroad with documents proving the family relationship, marriage or birth certificates, and the sponsor's status. Once in Bulgaria, you get a 1-year renewable permit as a family member. Documents and checks. Family reunification applications will involve proving the family ties, original marriage certificates, birth certificates for children, etc., all legalized and translated, proof of accommodation in Bulgaria, and sometimes evidence of financial stability, so that the family will not need state support. Bulgarian authorities may also interview you to verify the genuineness of a marriage in the case of spouses, as part of anti-fraud measures, common in all EU countries. Life as a family member in Bulgaria. Being in Bulgaria on a family reunification residence permit allows you to live with your loved ones. You can also work in Bulgaria. If you are a spouse of a Bulgarian or of an EU citizen, you have the same access to the labor market as they do, no separate work permit needed. If you are a family member of a non-EU resident, you typically get the right to work as well once you have your own residence card. This category generally enjoys a high approval rate, since family unity is a key reason recognized by law. As long as you provide the required proofs, the process is usually smooth. After 5 years of continuous residence under this status, you can qualify for permanent residence. If your family member is Bulgarian, or later you become Bulgarian, you could then pursue citizenship under favorable terms. Investment and property-based residency. Bulgaria offers opportunities for investors and property buyers to obtain residency, but there are specific conditions. Unlike some countries where buying any property gives you a residence permit, Bulgaria requires a significant investment for it to directly lead to residency. Here are the main routes in this category. Residency by property investment. In Bulgaria, buying property can lead to a residence permit only if the investment is substantial. As of recent laws, a foreign national who purchases real estate in Bulgaria worth at least 600,000 Bulgarian levs, Bulgarian leva, is eligible for a long-term residence permit. 600,000 Bulgarian levs is roughly 306,000 euros. This is quite a high amount, aimed at attracting serious investors. If you meet this threshold, whether by buying one expensive property or several properties that together value at least 600,000 leva, you can apply for a Type D visa on that basis. After obtaining the visa and coming to Bulgaria, you'll get a one-year renewable residence permit tied to your property investment. You must show proof of the property ownership, the title deeds, and evidence that the funds came through a Bulgarian bank, etc. Keep in mind, if you buy property below that value, for example, a holiday home for 50,000 euros, it will not automatically give you residency. You can still own property as a foreigner, it's legal, with some land ownership restrictions for non-EU which can be solved by owning via a Bulgarian company. But you'll need another ground, like being a retiree or registering a business, to actually live in Bulgaria long-term. So, property ownership by itself is only a residency route at the high investment level. Business investment, entrepreneur visa, another pathway is to invest in or start a business in Bulgaria. One option under Bulgarian law is to register a Bulgarian company and create at least 10 jobs for Bulgarian citizens. If you do this, you can qualify for a Type D visa for business activity. After that, you'll receive a one-year residence permit, renewable as long as your business is active and those jobs are maintained. This is aimed at encouraging entrepreneurs to create employment in Bulgaria. There's also a newer startup visa program intended for innovative businesses, requiring a smaller investment, around 100,000 Bulgarian levs initial capital, if you get certified as a high-potential startup by Bulgarian authorities. Entrepreneurs and self-employed people have these avenues, but note that bureaucratic requirements, like proving the jobs and investment, must be met. Trade Representative Office. If you already own a company abroad, you can open a Trade Representative Office, TRO, of your foreign company in Bulgaria. Bulgarian law allows up to 3 foreign representatives of a registered overseas company to obtain long-stay D visas to act as trade representatives. This has been a popular route for some non-EU nationals, for example, entrepreneurs or remote business owners, who may not have a local Bulgarian company but want to reside in Bulgaria to oversee business interests. You must officially register the representative office with the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and then apply for the D visa as a company representative. This route doesn't require hiring 10 people, but you do need a legitimate, active foreign business and some paperwork to set it up. Other investments, fast-track permanent residence. Bulgaria previously had a citizenship by investment program where very large investments, like €1 million in government bonds or €6 million in a Bulgarian company, could directly lead to citizenship or permanent residence. This program has been scaled down or changed in recent years due to EU pressures, but the option to obtain immediate permanent residency by investment still exists in some form. For example, investing 500,000 Bulgarian levs, €256,000 in a Bulgarian business, and creating 10 jobs can potentially grant permanent residence straight away, bypassing the 5-year temporary stage. These are niche options for high net worth individuals and come with strict rules, but it's worth mentioning for completeness. Investor residency in practice. For most people considering investor residency, the realistic approach is either the property route or the entrepreneur route at smaller scale. If you plan to buy a retirement home or holiday property in Bulgaria that is under the high threshold, you won't automatically get a residence permit. In that case, many individuals combine their property purchase with another basis for residency, for instance, registering a small business or using the retirement visa category, next section, to live in Bulgaria and enjoy their property. On the other hand, if you do invest a large sum, Bulgaria rewards you with a fairly streamlined residence permit process. Once you have your investment-based residence permit, you must maintain the investment. For example, keep the property and don't sell below 600k, or keep the business running, for your permit to be renewed each year. After 5 years, you can become eligible for permanent residence, and then you no longer need to maintain the investment at the same level, though for property you'd likely keep it as it's your asset. Investing in Bulgaria can be a win-win. You get residency in a country with low taxes and cost of living, and Bulgaria attracts foreign capital. Retirement, residency for pensioners. Bulgaria's relaxed lifestyle and low cost of living make it very attractive to retirees. Non-EU citizens who are retirees, pensioners, can apply for a long-stay visa to live in Bulgaria on the basis of their retirement status. This is an important category, especially for individuals from countries like the UK, after Brexit, Russia, the US, etc., who wish to retire in Bulgaria. Here's how the retirement residency works. Pension and financial self-sufficiency. To qualify, you must show that you are retired and have sufficient funds to support yourself. Typically, this means providing proof of receiving a pension, official pension statements or letter from your pension authority, and possibly bank statements showing savings. There isn't a fixed minimum income spelled out in law publicly, but the authorities want to see that you won't become a burden on the state. As long as your pension or savings comfortably cover living expenses in Bulgaria, which are generally low, it should be acceptable. Apply for Visa D, retirement. You'll apply at the Bulgarian consulate in your home country for a Type D visa on the grounds of retirement. Along with the standard application form and passport, you'll include documents such as proof of your pension income, proof of accommodation in Bulgaria. If you already bought or rented a place to live, many retirees purchase a village house or apartment. If not, a declaration of intent or hotel booking might be needed. Health insurance valid in Bulgaria, and a police clearance certificate, clean criminal record. This category is sometimes referred to as a pensioner's visa. Arrival and residence permit. With the D visa, you travel to Bulgaria and then apply for your residence permit at Migration Office. You'll receive a 1-year temporary residence permit as a retired foreign national. This comes in the form of a Bulgarian ID card. Renewal. Each year, you will renew your permit by showing that you still meet the conditions, essentially, that you still have sufficient financial means, pension, and health insurance coverage, and that you maintain a local address. Many retirees who settle in Bulgaria will have purchased a property, which helps as you can show your title deed as proof of address. If you rent, you provide a rental contract. Renewal is straightforward if nothing has changed significantly in your status. Living in Bulgaria as a retiree. Retirees on this type of permit are not expected to work, though if you later decide to take up part-time work or start a small business, you might need to change your status or get additional permission. This visa is purely for residency and enjoying life. The benefit is you get to live in Bulgaria year-round legally, enjoy the climate and culture, and travel in and out freely. After 5 continuous years on a temporary retirement residence permit, you can apply for permanent residency, giving you even more security to live indefinitely in Bulgaria. From there, if you wish, you could pursue Bulgarian citizenship. Some retirees do if they plan to spend the rest of their life there and want the benefits of a Bulgarian, EU passport, though it requires passing language tests, etc., which can be a fun challenge in retirement. Overall, Bulgaria is very welcoming to foreign pensioners. You'll find communities of expats in many towns, and services like Nyama Problemi Ltd can assist with the practicalities of settling in temporary versus permanent residency in Bulgaria. It's important to understand the distinction between temporary, extended residence and permanent residence in Bulgaria. Temporary residence permits. These are the one-year permits that we've been discussing in all the categories above: work, study, family, etc. They are often officially called the extended residence permits. They allow you to reside in Bulgaria for a defined period, usually up to 1 year at a time, under specific grounds, and you must renew them before expiry to remain legally. During this period, you should not be absent from Bulgaria for long stretches. Generally, you shouldn't leave for more than 6 consecutive months or a total of 10 months within the 5-year period. Otherwise, the continuity of your residence might be broken. Exceptions exist for important reasons. As long as you keep meeting the requirements, e.g., still employed, still married, still studying, etc., you can keep renewing annually. Permanent residence permits. After 5 years of continuous temporary residency, you become eligible to apply for a permanent residence permit. Permanent residence is an open-ended status. The card itself may have to be renewed every 5 or 10 years for photo update, but you don't need to justify a continuing reason like a job or marriage to keep it. Permanent residents in Bulgaria enjoy almost all the rights of citizens except voting in national elections and a few exceptions. For example, permanent residents can work freely, come and go from the country without visas, etc. To get permanent residency, you file an application with proof that you've lived lawfully in Bulgaria for 5 years, your consecutive temporary permits and a record of not having long interruptions abroad. If approved, you receive a permanent resident card. One big advantage: you no longer have to do yearly paperwork to renew status. You're set for life, provided you do not live outside Bulgaria for more than 2 consecutive years. Leaving too long can lead to losing permanent status, as in many countries. Long-term EC residence. Bulgaria also offers a status called long-term resident, EC, European Community Long-Term Residence, which is similar to permanent residence, and is often given alongside or as an alternative after 5 years. This status is pursuant to an EU directive and can give you some rights to move to other EU countries more easily as a long-term resident. In practice, when you apply for permanent residence, you might also get this EC long-term residence if you meet certain criteria, like stable income, accommodation, and health insurance. It's a bit technical, but essentially, after 5 years you get security of tenure in Bulgaria. Path to citizenship. Gaining permanent residency is also the gateway to Bulgarian citizenship for those who wish to take it further. Normally, a foreign national can apply for citizenship by naturalization after holding permanent residence for at least 5 years. This typically means 10 years from the start of your residency journey, 5 years temporary plus 5 years permanent. There are exceptions. For example, if married to a Bulgarian for over 3 years, one might apply for citizenship after 3 years of permanent residence, so that could shorten it to about 8 years total. Also, children of Bulgarian citizens, or those with Bulgarian heritage, have faster routes. To become a citizen, you will need to demonstrate some proficiency in the Bulgarian language and pass a citizenship test, interview about basic knowledge of the country. Once you become a Bulgarian citizen, you are also an EU citizen, which is a big attraction for some, freedom to live and work anywhere in the EU. However, many are content with permanent residency, which already grants most practical benefits. In summary, temporary residency is your initial stage in Bulgaria, which you maintain for 5 years through renewals. Permanent residency is your reward for sticking it out 5 years, a more stable status. And finally, citizenship is a possibility down the line if you integrate and wish to become Bulgarian. Each step has its requirements, but plenty of expats successfully go through them, especially with the right support and preparation. Step-by-step application process and renewal. For non-EU citizens, applying for a Bulgarian long-stay visa and residence permit can be broken down into clear steps. Below is a step-by-step guide to help you navigate the process smoothly. Choose the right visa category. First, determine under which category you will apply: work, study, family, investment, retirement, etc. Ensure you meet the key requirements for that category. For example, have a university acceptance, a job offer, or the necessary funds. Gather required documents. Prepare all the documents you will need for the visa application. While specifics vary by category, common documents include a valid passport, with at least a year validity beyond your intended entry and some blank pages, recent passport-sized photos, completed visa application form, available from the Bulgarian embassy or consulate website. Proof of purpose, e.g., work permit and job contract, university acceptance letter, marriage certificate, property deed, etc., depending on your visa type. Proof of funds, bank statements, scholarship letters, pension statements, or other evidence that you can support yourself financially in Bulgaria. Health insurance, travel medical insurance that covers at least 30,000 euros in expenses, required for the visa, valid for the duration of your initial stay. Once you become a resident, you might switch to Bulgarian health insurance, but initially this is needed. Accommodation proof, address in Bulgaria where you will reside. This could be a rental agreement, property ownership document, or a hotel reservation letter. For family visas, your family sponsor's housing proof is often needed. Police clearance certificate. Many Type D visa applicants must provide a criminal record certificate from their home country, showing no serious convictions. This usually must be recently issued, apostilled or legalized, and translated into Bulgarian. Other category-specific docs. For example, students might need to show proof of tuition payment, entrepreneurs might need a business plan or company documents, family members need birth, marriage certificates, etc. Submit Visa D application at Bulgarian Embassy, Consulate. Once everything is ready, make an appointment at the Bulgarian Embassy or Consulate that serves your area. Submit your Visa D application along with the documents and the visa fee. If applicable, family of EU might be free, others around €100 fee, but check current fee schedule. The consular officer may ask you some questions or require an interview. After submission, The processing time is usually between 4 to 8 weeks. In many cases, applicants get a result in about a month. It's important to apply well ahead of when you plan to move, to allow for this waiting period. During the wait, you cannot travel to Bulgaria unless you have visa-free entry. Even then, you cannot convert to D visa while in Bulgaria. You must wait for the visa to be issued and stamped in your passport before going for long-term stay. Receive visa and travel to Bulgaria. Once your D visa is approved, you'll get it stamped in your passport. It might be a 6-month visa, allowing multiple entry, or 12-month in certain cases, like for students. This visa means you are authorized to travel to Bulgaria and complete the residence formalities. Upon arrival in Bulgaria, note the date. You'll usually need to apply for your residence permit within 90 days of entry. Often it's recommended to do it as soon as possible, since your visa is valid for entry, but your goal is the permit. Apply for residence permit, Bulgarian ID card. Go to the local migration office, often called the Directorate of Migration, under the Ministry of Interior, for the area where you live. Bring your passport with the D visa, a bunch of passport photos, they might take their own digital photo too, proof of your address in Bulgaria, e.g. a notarized lease contract or property deed, and again the documents relevant to your visa type, employment contract, university letter, etc. You will fill out an application for an extended residence permit. There will be state fees for the residence card, and you can often pay extra for faster processing. Standard processing might take 2 weeks, while an expedited fee can get the card in 3 to 5 working days. The office will issue a certificate or stamp confirming you've applied. After the processing time, you return to pick up your Bulgarian residence ID card. Congratulations! Now you are an official resident of Bulgaria. The card will have your photo, a unique ID number, and validity dates, usually 1 year from date of issue, or sometimes aligned with things like the academic year for students. Residence permit renewal, annually. Mark your calendar for about 6 to 8 weeks before your permit expires, as you'll need to prepare for renewal. The renewal is done in Bulgaria at the migration office. You do not need to leave the country. Requirements for renewal are similar to the initial permit. You must show that you still meet the conditions of your residence. For example, provide an updated letter from your employer or new work contract, recent pay slips, proof that you paid taxes if applicable, or for students, a letter that you passed exams and will continue studying. For family, proof your family member still has status or you're still married. For retirees, an updated pension statement, etc. You'll also need proof of current address, if you moved, update the address registration, and have valid health insurance. Once you're a resident, you can either have private insurance or enroll in the Bulgarian public health insurance by paying monthly contributions. Fill out the renewal form and pay the fee for the new ID card. The process is usually quicker than the first time. You might get your new card within a week if you use fast service. Each renewal gives you another year. Permanent residency application. After 5 renewals, or rather, 5 years of continuous residence, you can compile documents to apply for permanent residence. This typically involves proof of your 5 years of legal stay, copies of all your permits, proof of address, and that you have not been absent beyond the allowed limits. The application is made to the migration office as well. Once approved, you'll get a permanent resident card, usually valid for 5 years at a time before renewal of the card, but the status itself is permanent. Citizenship, optional. If your goal is to become a Bulgarian citizen, once you are eligible, e.g. after 5 years of permanent residency, or other shortened terms as applicable, you will apply through the Ministry of Justice. This is a separate process involving additional documents like proof of integration, language test, etc. It's beyond the scope of this immediate guide, but it's the final step of the journey for those who pursue it. Throughout the application and renewal process, attention to detail and deadlines is crucial. Always ensure documents are translated into Bulgarian by a certified translator when required, and notarized, legalized as needed. Keep copies of everything. If you're ever unsure of a step, getting local legal advice or assistance from a relocation service can be invaluable. How Nyama Problemi Ltd and BG House can assist you. Relocating to a new country is much easier when you have experienced support. Nyama Problemi Ltd is a licensed estate and property management company based in Popovo, Targovishte, Bulgaria, and the team behind BG House. They offer a range of services to make your move and life in Bulgaria hassle-free, especially for foreign property owners and new residents. Here's how they can help. Residence support and document management. Navigating Bulgarian paperwork can be intimidating if you don't speak the language or are unfamiliar with local bureaucracy. Nyama Problemi Ltd provides residence support services, guiding you through visa applications and residence permit registrations. They can help prepare the necessary documents, ensure all forms are correctly filled, and accompany you to local offices if needed. Their expertise means you won't be surprised by missing documents or unexpected requirements. From obtaining birth certificate translations to dealing with immigration officials, having a local professional by your side saves time and stress. Property purchase and management. Being a licensed estate agency, Nyama Problemi Ltd can assist you in finding and purchasing your dream home in Bulgaria. For non-EU buyers, they explain the rules, for instance, buying land via a company if needed, and handle the legalities of property transfer. After purchase, their property management services are invaluable if you don't live in Bulgaria full-time. They take care of your property, from regular maintenance and security checks to paying utility bills on your behalf. This is especially useful for expatriates and retirees who travel often or split time between countries. You'll have peace of mind that your Bulgarian home is in good hands year-round. Essential updates via mailing lists. Laws and regulations can change, and staying updated is key. For example, changes in immigration law, new health insurance rules, or tax deadlines. Nyama Problemi Ltd keeps their clients informed by sending out essential updates via email newsletters or mailing lists. When you sign up, you'll receive timely information about any changes that could affect your residency status or property ownership. This might include reminders for permit renewal dates, updates on Bulgarian tax law for foreign residents, or community news in your region. Being on top of these updates helps you remain compliant and take advantage of any new opportunities, such as a new type of visa or incentive program, as they arise. Virtual office and local address services. One of the challenges for foreigners in Bulgaria is managing correspondence and having a local point of contact. Nyama Problemi Ltd offers a virtual office service, providing you with a local address in Bulgaria which can be used for official mail and as a registered address for various purposes. For instance, if you set up a Bulgarian company, a common step for some residency routes, you legally need a local registered address. They can provide this and manage any mail that comes to it. They will receive letters on your behalf from banks, tax authorities, immigration, etc., and promptly inform you or forward them to you. This ensures you never miss important notices. Additionally, having a virtual office address means even if you are abroad, you have a home base in Bulgaria where authorities can reach you, which is often a requirement for maintaining status. It makes communication with Bulgarian institutions much smoother. Personalized assistance and community connections. Nyama Problemi Ltd, through the BG House platform, has built a community of expats and property owners in Bulgaria. They can introduce you to reliable local attorneys for complex immigration issues or to translation services for document legalization. If you need to find a doctor, register a car, or get a Bulgarian driver's license, they can advise you on the steps. Essentially, they act as your go-to support system for all the little and big questions that come with settling in a foreign country. With their friendly, English-speaking staff, you can bridge any cultural or language gaps quickly. The name, Nyama Problemi, literally means no problems, and true to that, they strive to ensure you truly have no problems during your move and stay in Bulgaria. Moving to Bulgaria is a rewarding decision. You'll enjoy a rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and a relaxed lifestyle. With the information in this guide, you now have a clear roadmap for obtaining the right visa or residence permit, whether you're an EU citizen exercising free movement or a non-EU citizen following the long stay visa process. Remember to plan ahead, stay organized with your documents, and don't hesitate to seek help from professionals like Nyama Problemi Ltd for a smoother experience. Before long, you could be enjoying your new life under the Bulgarian sun, without any visa worries. Nyama Problemi.